Well, hi everybody. Welcome back to another update video. In these videos, I show you excerpts from older videos where I bought stuff, then I break in and I update you guys on what they sold for. It's usually pretty informative, and we have a little fun along the way too. Oh, but how I'm going to change up this week's video is I'm going to show you items that I didn't do that well on. Plus, I'm going to give you tips on how I run my business. You might not like them, you might not agree with them, but it should be interesting. Okay, let's get started. Here's item number 1. On this row, I saw something that I didn't know what it was. It was this chair. And then as I got closer to it, I realized it was the chair from Game of Thrones. They wanted $5.99 for it. And online they go for around $30. So it's mine. When I got that Game of Thrones chair home, I listed it online for $24.95, which is right around the price most people were getting. Well, it wasn't selling, so I lowered the price a couple bucks, and it still wasn't selling. Well, 2 months later, a guy offered me $16.95 for it, plus the shipping. I said, you know what? Let's just get rid of it, take the money, and go buy something else. So I did. I accepted the offer, and I'm kind of happy with it. Didn't make a lot of money off the item, but I freed up my money. Okay, now on to the next item. Well, on the first row at this store, I saw that cute little Mexican Chihuahua. He was holding a pair of maracas. He was really cute. Goodwill was asking $3.99 for him. Well, it turned out he played the Macarena, and I wanted to hear it, so I said, I hope he's got batteries in him, and I pressed the on button. Well, now I knew I wanted him, so in the cart he went. Well, when I got the Macarena dog home, I listed him at $24.95, but I wasn't getting any interest on him. Maybe because the Macarena song's really old now? I don't know. But whatever, I thought he was cute, but I guess other people didn't. I ended up listing him after a few price drops for $16.95 plus shipping, and then he sold. So I only paid $3.99 for him, and I got $16.95. So I did okay, but once again, a little bit disappointing. Okay, let's see what I bought next. Well, after listening to Ann play Mary Had a Little Lamb 10 more times, I came over to this aisle where I found this Lamy fountain pen set. It originally sold for $68, Goodwill wanted $14.99, and on eBay they go for around $40. So, yeah, I was taking this. I listed the fountain pen set for $39.95 plus shipping, and it sat around forever. It just wasn't moving, wasn't selling. So I was tired of looking at it. I lowered the price down to $25.95 after a few other drops, and it ended up selling. But remember, I paid $14.99 for it. That's not a very good deal for me. What was it, a $2 profit maybe? And the aggravation I had to put up with it was probably a loss. But this is a good point I want to make with you guys. I'm better off, in my opinion, freeing up my money and going buying something else, because just to let something sit there hoping you get the top dollar for it might be other people's business plan, but not mine. I figure if you can take your money and turn it over again and again and again, you end up making a lot more off it than if you hang on for 2 years waiting for it to sell for $39.95, which I don't think it would have sold for anyway. Okay, well, take that advice or not. Let's go on to the next item. Well, this aisle seemed to have okay stuff on it. Nothing great, but okay. I ran across this U.S. Silver Eagle display case. The U.S. Mint puts out 1 coin a year, and it's 1 ounce of pure silver. And I know that because I collect them. They were asking $6.99 for this display box, and they go for about $30. That Silver Eagle display case ended up selling for $18.95 plus $9.95 shipping. Now that was about $12 or $13 less than I was expecting. But at least I freed up my money, and I could go buy something else where I could make more of a profit on. You know what? Let me explain this just a little bit more and kind of in a different way. Say you had a store, and in that store you had $100,000 worth of inventory, and you were working on 30% gross. Well, if it took you a year to flip all that inventory, at the end of the year, you would have $30,000. Pretty easy math. Now let's take the same store with the same $100,000 in merchandise. Well, now you only want 20% profit because you want to flip over, you want to turn around your money faster. So now every 6 months, you turn over your money. Well, that means by the end of the year, you now have $200,000 in sales at 20%. You made $40,000. So you made more money than the guy that was asking 30%. Well, you don't have to believe me, but numbers usually don't lie. Okay, now on to the next item. I almost bought this zombie crossing sign, and I was going to put it in the back seat so the non-subscribers could be warned, but I ended up passing on it. Next I saw this floating Grim Reaper. I pushed the button. Yeah, the batteries were dead, as usual. Now they were asking $12.99 for this, but online they go for $60, so it was mine. Oh, and it was brand new. Well, when I got the Grim Reaper home, I ended up listing it for $39.95 plus $9.95 shipping. And I figured that was a pretty decent markup for what I paid for it. Well, a couple weeks later, I got an offer for $29.95 plus shipping. And I said, should I be greedy or should I take it? So I thought about it.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
And I decided, greed's not usually the proper thing to do in business. I guess greed has its place. It's a shame, but it does. But usually common sense has a better place in business. So when you're making decisions, forget greed and think about the proper thing to do, the common sense thing to do. So I took the offer. I like the money. He likes the Grim Reaper, and everybody's happy. Pretty good. And nobody was greedy. Okay, now on to the next item. Next, I saw these shiny white sneakers. They looked like they were almost in new condition. Well, they were made by Wilson. They were called Rush Pros. They said Ortholite on the inside. They were asking $14.99 for them, and on eBay they go for around $40. So I'm going to run with them. Well, looking back, I think I might have overpaid for those Wilson sneakers a little bit. They did end up selling for a profit. I got $30.95 for them, plus $9.95 shipping. But those were the type of sneakers that should have sold for $8 or $9. I still made a little bit of money. And I was wrong picking them up for that price. But, just another thing I want to tell you guys. You're going to make a lot of mistakes when you're out thrifting. You can't know everything about everything. If you pick up an item that you don't make as much as you thought, just forget about it and move on to the next item. Yeah, that's what I do. As I was walking down the toy aisle, I saw one of my old friends. Yeah, it was Mr. Potato Head. Well, back in school, we both had a crush on Mrs. Potato Head, so there were some tense times between us. But we're friends again. Well, Mr. Potato Head ended up I just love saying Mr. Potato Head. Mr. Potato Head ended up selling for $10.95 plus $5.95 shipping. Now, on the surface, that looks like a bad buy. You paid $1.99, you make $10.95. But actually, that's a pretty good buy. If you can pick up things for $2 and sell them for $11, I think you'll do very well in this business. You prefer the items where you make hundreds, but hey, the small items count too. Okay, now on to the next item. About 10 feet from the Elvis Bear was this Humphrey 1989 bear. And the cool thing about him is that if you push on his heart and then you listen, you can hear his heartbeat. So that was pretty cool. There was no price on them, but I ended up getting them for $3.98, and they sell for around $30. Well, I looked up comparables on that Humphrey Bear, and they were going for around $25, $30. So I said, well, for $3.98, I can't go wrong. So I took it home and I listed it for $29.95. Nothing. Then I went to $24.95. Nothing. Well, to make a long story short, it ended up selling for $17.95 plus shipping. So I still made money on it, and I would buy one again. But it shows you, you're not always going to get what you think you're going to get for something. You know, it's what the other people want to pay, not what you want them to pay you. Okay, now on to the next item. On this aisle, I wasn't expecting to find anything. What a bunch of junk. But then I did see this home alarm. It was motion activated. Goodwill wanted $3.99 for it. And online they go for $20. I wanted it. That home alarm also doubled as a doorbell. So I figured it would be a pretty easy sell. So when I got it home, I listed it on eBay for $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping. Well, it did end up selling, but it took about 6 weeks and I had to lower the price a little. I ended up getting $15.95 plus shipping. Okay, I made a profit on it, but another item I kind of underestimated a little. Okay guys, now on to the last item. You don't want to miss that one. Okay, let's go. Well, Anna texted me and said come on in the back and see what I got. But on the way there, I saw this gorgeous brass clock. It was made by this company, Imhoff. Goodwill was only asking $9.99 for it. And online, believe it or not, these go for $400 and $500. Well, I wanted to make sure it wasn't a replica, so I opened it up, and it wasn't. So this was definitely going home with me. Okay, now let's go see Ann. I put the clock in this video so you guys would not get down on eBay selling. You know, there was some mistakes made during this video, but I hope I gave you some tips too. Well, here's what happened with the clock. When I got it home, didn't have a face on it, you know, the glass face, and it kept time, which was shocking, but not very well. So I had to lower the price. But it ended up selling for $135 plus $26.95 shipping. I was still absolutely thrilled. So sometimes, even though you don't get what you expect, you still get more than you expected. Okay, guys, well, that's about it for today. So remember, don't get down on selling. Just get up on living. Okay, well, I'll see you next time. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button, share this video with a friend. Most of all, stay safe out there, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye, guys.